Hi everyone, this is Cheryl, and today I'm going to work on some dashboards, and I've had a lot of requests as to my thought process, so I'm going to do my best to work through these as I think about them so that you can have a basic idea of how I come up with my ideas. First thing that I do whenever I start working on dashboards is I get all my supplies together. And the kit I'm going to be working on for this one is for June. It's the new Lemon Grove kit, which I love. I've already started setting up my kit because I'm also going to be doing a video on my setup for the month of June. And as you can see, I've started setting it up, but I don't have all my dashboards completed because I wanted to also go through this and show you how that I do that. I've done just a couple of things. I wanted to do some title pages for a few of my inserts. But first off, I gather all my supplies. I want to make sure that I have all the dashboards that come in the kit because I do love using Cocoa Daisy's dashboards. It's a really simple way to get you motivated and to give you a good basic setup. I almost always use all of theirs. Sometimes what I'll do is I will glue them back to back. Sometimes I'll take some of their pattern paper and I will glue it back to back because I'm funny. I like to be able to flip mine and have a pattern on the reverse side. So anyway, what I've done is I've gathered my dashboards. I've gathered all the printed paper that I have that came in the kit. I have all the stickers that I got in the kits. I have gathered together the die cuts and I have separated them by the style. So like all the lemons that are cut, all the lemons that have the greenery are separate. I have any that have words. I put them in their own piles. I even gathered together the sticky pads because sometimes they work well too, you never know. I do get the pocket planning kit. So I have gathered these together as well as any of the pocket cards that came with the planning kit. There's always just a handful that come in. They're usually single-sided. But I will go through all of these and pull out the ones that I think will work best as being framed on any of these. Like this is a good title, Let's Have Fun Today, Sunny Days, Less to-dos, more to-dos. This would be perfect for the to-do section, and you'll see on the back it's plain, so you're not losing anything. This one was cute. I liked this. This would actually be good for a photograph. Not this particular one, but this one reminds me of two of my really good friends who remind me so much of each other. They always would say Bree or Squee, and it's double-sided, but I love that face. And then there's the sun, which I liked. And then this is, of course, the card that comes with the kit to tell you which kit it is. I usually tuck this inside the front page of my planner because one is just so pretty. I gather all of my alphabets, the washi tape that I've gotten in the kits, as well as any washi tape from previous kits. Like this came in last year's kit, one of them anyway. And then I also use a lot of Simply Gilded, and I have a few that again will go wonderfully with the colors. So I wanted to gather those. The other thing, I always make sure I have my tools handy. because it is very frustrating to have to stop what you're doing in the middle to go grab your tools. Plus I have my paper trimmers. Now I have a variety of adhesive. I have been in the scrapbooking business for a very long time. I do have some favorites, but I also have an excess amount of adhesive. This is actually Score Pal tape. It's by Sukwon, and I have this in all different widths. This stuff is amazing. You can also use it to adhere glitter to your cards or pages, and it will hold it really, really well. I always have glue dots because these are really great for little embellishments such as these, which are rubber. So if any of you are wondering what to do with these, I'm actually going to use them, and then you'll get to see. Glue dots are great for adhering wood pieces, or you can use liquid glue, but I'm a fan of glue dots. I have a ruler handy. And I think for the most part that's what I have within reach. I do have the stamps and some ink too, just in case. And then the next thing that I do is I go through all the cards and I look at them. Now one thing I noticed is I love this card, but by itself it's rather plain. This paper by itself is very busy, but when you pair the two, I think it really sets the card off. And then I was thinking, you know, it needed a little more yellow. So if we add an embellishment below it, there's that one, or that one, I kind of... And then I like to add dimension. Oh, I forgot to show you. I have dimensional dots. These ones are the thinner ones. They're from Stampin' Up, but you can get them from all different companies. And then you can lift this. So one of the things I'm going to do, I use a personal size planner, which means that these dashboards are personal size. They're 3.75 inches by 6.75 inches, and if you use a hole punch, it will fit in here perfectly. But I want to frame it, so I'm going to have to cut this paper down to personal size and then trim about 1/4 inch off of each side, of basically 2 sides, or 1/8 inch off of all 4 sides to mat it perfectly. And then I can hole punch it and it will fit in here perfectly. And then I can add this. Then when you flip it, it's got a background already. So let me go ahead and put this down. And honestly, a lot of times when I pull out my cards, I'm already looking at them to see what I like to put together with what other, what options are going to look really good together. My mind's already going that way. It's going to take, if you're new with this, it's not going to happen immediately. So don't expect it to, but it won't take long before you start realizing that you can, you'll start seeing the different options. Some people will, I can eye this and figure out, oh, I just need to do this, this, and that, and for size, and it'll mat perfectly. There you go. Didn't take that much. And I think we decided on the larger one. Let's double check this. Now that it's cut down a little bit, I kind of like the smaller one. And then if I add my dimensional dots, which I throw over here, just 3. Like size, I've been cutting things for so long that I can pretty much eye something and figure out what the size will be. And again, that will come with time, but I have a regular 12-inch trimmer. This one is easier to work with for smaller things. It's great for photographs. Okay, now I can add a photo. I love to put photographs in my planner, or I could just leave it blank. I could add the word hello. If I use yellow, it'll balance. I kind of like the blue. The yellow is really bright. The prompt, usually the first day of the month, is Hello June. So that would set this month off right away. Now, do we want it straight, or do we want it also at the same angle? Now, as a quick cheat, to have it go straight, if you put the edge on your ruler before you lay it down, I rarely do this anymore, but for those of you who are worried and want to make sure that it's exactly where you want it to be, you can place it on the edge of a ruler, and then when you lift it off, it'll be right where you want it. Oops. It's probably a good thing I did it. I forgot the E. Okay, so we have the word hello, and then now I have a clear ruler. I probably should have done this with a clear ruler. I love these alphabets. I wish I had them in every color and in doubles so that I never ran out of them. Okay, so June is like at an angle like that. Or we can do it straight. Needs to be a little thinner. Like I said, I'm pretty good at eyeing things these days. And these lift off if you lift them off pretty quickly. They lift off, they don't pull your paper up. But if you let it sit for a little bit, they might pull up the die. Okay, and then you can go ahead and add some adhesive to the back. I generally just do all 4 sides, mostly because when you're flipping the pages, you don't want to grab a piece and have it not flip together. Just seems a little bit off. The other thing I like to keep in my stash of supplies are sequins, because they don't add much texture, or they add a little bit of texture, but they don't add a lot of, what's the word I want to use? hardness like a button. A button can a lot of times, I wish I had a yellow one in here, can add a lot of thickness, and then it will make your, oh, here's a big one, will add too much dimension. But if we just add a little bit, just adds that little bit of extra. And I like to do things in threes or in odd numbers. Now, because these are nice and big sequins, I can use mini glue dots to adhere it down. Okay, so essentially this side's done. Now we need to do something on this side. And we can add a card. I think that's going to need some matting too. So let's see, what papers do we have? Oh, I keep these. Sometimes, the small ones, you can laminate the smaller ones and use them as washi cards. But you can also use these to mat. And now you've saved. It's right in front of my face. And then let's look at the washi tape we have. I like this one. I like this one because it's got all the other colors to pull it in. And I like to add texture where I can. So I am going to add a little bit of a washi ruffle. Just kind of fold it as I lay it down. And I'm doing it at a slight angle. There will be people who will prefer it to be straight on. Sometimes I'll do it straight on. And I ran out of tape there, so I'm just piecing it together, and you'll notice that you don't even see the difference, or don't even see where I added the extra. So don't let that stress you if you run out. I just sometimes like the angle. And then this extra, let me just trim off. And I can use this as a decoration. Now, because I want this to be my front, I'm going to go ahead and hole punch it before I add on anything too thick, because if you put anything, I always double check this, by the way. Quick tip, double check, make sure it's going to punch where you want it to, because if you accidentally bang this and you go to punch it and your holes are off, then you have to cover it all up with washi tape and repunch it. But anyway, let's get this in. But if you put something dimensional on the other side, it won't fit in your hole puncher. Here we go. Now, if we, whoops, this one. Well, I guess I could have glued this down first. Okay, now I have to repunch it. And when you're repunching again, make sure you get it all the way in, because you'll end up with odd-shaped holes. Okay, now I can add in something thicker. And for some reason, see how these words, this side's empty and this side's empty? I like to add, I think if you put it here, it looks odd, but if you put it here, it fills in with the empty spaces. And I am going to use my large glue dot. In place. So now we have, there's something, this is just bothering me. I might have to pull that off altogether. And if you do pull something off, you've got two choices. If you feel that it's going to actually pull off the paper or the background, use undo. I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. If it's coming off with no problem, just, pull it off slowly. This is undo. Usually if I put a sticker down on my planner pages, I will use undo to pull it up, because then it will not pull up the paper underneath it. For now, I'm going to leave that without the hello. Or instead of these, you know what, stickers might look better. Oh, this. I like that better than the letters. Okay, so dashboard 1 done. Let's work on another one. Get up some empty trash here. Oh, keep the little extras. Make sure you don't accidentally throw away anything you don't want to throw away. I saw this earlier and I really liked that. And that, I think, would look nice with this. And I'll be honest, I don't remember if this came in with the Traveler's Notebook Memory Keeping Kit or the Pocket Memory Keeping Kit, or one of the classifieds. But you can do this also with using any of the letter stickers, or, in all of those kits, there were some other that came. So you can use all kinds of titles, but I do really like this. You also are not limited to using what comes in the kits, but there are lots of options with the stickers. Like this is the planner add-on kit. I get pretty much all the kits. It just makes me happy to have all the options. But I really like that. And this is what I'll do a lot of times is I'll just lay them out and see if they make me happy. And again, see, simple, very easy. This one, I love this background. It's a little bit busy just overall to add too much to it, but again, add a background. It pulls out the golds. Here, I'll show you some other choices. That pulls out all the blue. There's no green in it. There's this yellow here. But I personally like this yellow a little better. There's that blue. It makes the background the same, or the reverse of it the same. You could do white. That looks kind of nice, but I really like the yellow. That was the other blue, but it doesn't, because it has such a heavy pattern to it also, and the blues don't quite, it doesn't pull out the right shades of blue. It doesn't do anything at all for it, whereas this gold, I think, really makes the difference. And then the back side is the lemons. So we can there you go. We can add something like that to the back. So I'm going to trim this one down. This way on a small trimmer. Let's just align these two up. Because this particular trimmer does not have an arm to pull out, but I have my larger printer in my desk. I just feel like pulling it out. And then I want to take 1/8 of an inch off all four sides so I can keep this centered. And so see, this is 3 3/4. So if I just take it down the center of that, now I can, oops. Yes, I want to bring this down to about 3 1/2. And then I'm going to eye this for about 1/8 of an inch. And then take the bottom and do another 1/8 of an inch. Darker on top. There you go. And that washi matches. That's too busy of a pattern. Oh. Wonder. Now sometimes I'll just mess around until I find what I like. This is the older washi from a previous kit. I just don't want that really pretty die cut to get lost. So I'm adding some of this. Needs to be. Need a little bit more. I'm going to use a dimensional dot. It keeps getting lost in all my stuff over here. Right now, I'm actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut this in half. And then now that I've done that, let's see what it would look like on the green background. Oh, I like that. Okay. So I'm going to change the background to green. Let me see what other greens we have. So we have this green background with that as the back, or we have this green background with that as the background. They're both very similar. I'll use this one. And this is the piece I cut off the yellow. And that bounced it up a little bit, so I'm going to add a little adhesive down here. There we go. Oops. I need to go find some yellow ones. Or I'm going to use this. Okay. Now I use the HP sprocket and the zinc refills for the film, and it prints them in little stickers. And it's great for this purpose. Sometimes if I have sometimes I fill them up on some really old ones and I reuse them. But since I've been doing all the Cocoa Daisy, I've been saving them. And I've been putting it through ring binder through the holes when I take them out of, or through right here. I've been using these, except smaller, to hold them together when I take them out of my personal rings binder so that I can save them because I like the memories that are in them. So let's see. I think this needs a little bit of washi. This is sparkly, so I don't want that. That doesn't match. Let's do the lemons. I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it flat this time. And I love, a lot of times when I want a straight edge, I just use a craft knife. Now these are actually stickers. You just have to be careful when pulling up the back so that you don't rip them apart. Okay, and I have not cut that off yet because sometimes it'll wrap around nicely on the back side. So we just have to decide what we're going to put on the reverse.